Also with us here today for the unveiling of the memorial is the former Lieutenant Governor of the state of Connecticut, Joe Feliso, who served under Governor O'Neill. Thank you, Governor, for being here today.
And now we'd like to bring up Don Massey, one of the committee members again, as we approach the climax of this ceremony when we're going to get to see the beautiful bronze plaque.
Let me break the spell for a moment. Are you glad you're here? Do you like what you've seen so far? And I guess we're on our way, aren't we? This is really an amazing event for us. It began with a dream, basically. We had no idea whether we would be able to fulfill this mission, but it turned out that there was a mission that needed to be accomplished. Would you agree with that? We've been privileged, especially in recent days, to have unexpected support from all quarters. We simply didn't have the money to do what has been done here today. The speakers, through which you hear my voice and everyone else's, and all of this sound system, and if we needed lighting, they would have provided that, came from the heart, soul, mind, and willingness of a man named Will Heavey and his company, and I would ask you to give him your support today, because we couldn't do it without him. The circus fans in general stood by the Ringling Circus in 1944 here in Hartford when your predecessors actually stoned members of the troupe after this tragedy occurred. They took them into their homes, gave them comfort, shelter, food, and it is in that same spirit that they've done it for us. So I personally thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today and everything you've offered. Gary and your friends, thank you. I have bled words here, and I agonized for days over what to say to you. You'll find my words. I won't tell you where they are, but they're around you. And instead of giving you new language, I figured I'd give you something a little bit older that I wrote years ago that still seems cogent and appropriate today. It was a time of innocence and romance. When the circus came to town, the thoughts of war drifted away, if only for a couple of hours. By 2 o'clock that afternoon, the temperature had soared to 90 degrees. The sun beat down on the big top as the audience waited for the matinee to begin. There were 7,000 of them, mostly women and children. They came to be entertained, to be thrilled. It was supposed to be magical. And then the blaze broke out, flowing like a breeze across the canvas, as if the heavens had opened, raining fire. 10 minutes later, the circus lay in ruins, and our city found itself grappling with the effects of a tragedy that no one could have foreseen. History was written in flame, and the innocence of this community was lost. 168 lives were taken that day, a staggering loss by any calculation. One victim in particular stands out in our minds. She was 8 years old, blonde, perfectly beautiful, in the way that only children can be. For 47 years, we called her Little Miss 1565. We didn't know her name, but we claimed her as our own. She soon became the symbol of our communal grief, offering us the means to mourn for a part of ourselves as a community that was lost forever. Every life is precious, but most precious of all are the lives of children. They embody our dreams. We see in them the hopes, the possibilities for the world, a world we all know to be difficult, even cruel at times. Our instinct to protect them can be defeated by an unpredictable force rising up against them, even against us. 61 years ago today, lives were taken by such a force, a demonic blaze with a will of its own. We'll never know what contributions might have been made, what benefits might have been offered to us had they lived. All we can do is tell the world that they mattered and that we cared. As we did then, we must now reach deep within ourselves to find the key to survival, the means to continue in the face of painful memories. The Ringling Circus fire will remain a tragic reminder of the fragility of life. And I'm going to ask you to do something now, and please do it for me as well as yourselves. Something you might not be inclined to do, but I ask you to do it anyway. Take a look at the person next to you, please. Turn left, turn right, turn front, turn to the rear. They are all human. They are all real. They all have lives. They all matter. And 61 years ago, people just like us were taken unexpectedly, and they never went home again. This memorial right here that we are about to uncover for you is meant to be not a mournful place, not a place for sadness. It's meant to be a place for rebirth, reconciliation, recovery, contemplation. And we have been gifted as a foundation in the last few days because you know what word people have started to adopt in the context of this space? They're calling it a park. And I can speak for my fellow foundation members, I'm certain, by saying that we never expected that they would say this was a park. But we are absolutely pleased and proud that they're using that word, because if that is a statement by the community that flows from what we've done here, then it will have all been worthwhile. We stand on sacred ground. It's right that we honor the memory of loved ones here, and that this memorial rises from this space, within this space, and within your hearts. Carry our message as you live the rest of your lives. It is meant to be upbeat, positive, hopeful. This is rebirth. We're privileged and honored to have a number of units from the state and local services. We have a long-standing, wonderful history represented in the Governor's Foot Guard, Hartford Fire Department, and Police Department Honor Guards, and I would ask them to step forward for the formal presentation.
Color, take, hut. Right shoulder, arm. Forward, arm.